Court for the City of Stoughton is now in session. The Honorable Scott Dirks presiding.
Please be seated. Good evening. My name is Scott Dirks, and I'm the municipal judge for the City of Stoughton and the towns of Dunkirk, Pleasant Springs, and Rutland. The City of Stoughton will appear tonight in all matters by Attorney Isaac Brodke. Before I begin calling cases, I want to go over some of the procedures we'll follow tonight and some of your rights as defendants. These procedures are also set forth on the form that was made available as you came through the door to the courtroom. Excuse me. First, please turn off your cell phones. Second, this hearing is for initial appearances on the citations you received. This is not the time for a trial or for telling me your side of what happened. When your case is called, please come up to the podium in front here and remember to speak clearly. These proceedings are being recorded, so you need to answer questions verbally, not by shaking or nodding your head. Tonight, I'll ask you to enter a plea to the citation you were issued. Your plea options are not guilty, no contest, or guilty. A plea of guilty means you admit whatever it is you're charged with. A plea of no contest means that while you do not admit doing anything unlawful, you don't wish to contest the matter. In many cases, Mr. Brodke will be in a position to make you an offer to resolve your case here tonight. If you do arrive at such an agreement, you should enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Either way, guilty or no contest, I will find you guilty. I will then review the facts of your case to determine whether there is a basis for accepting your plea, and will give you an opportunity, if you wish, to tell me anything you feel is relevant to my decision. I will then impose a forfeiture. A forfeiture is a money penalty and can be anywhere from $20,000 to $10,000, though the vast majority will be in the range of $50 to $200. I am also required to impose court costs, which will increase the total amount you must pay. I'll automatically give you 30 days to pay your forfeiture, but if you think you need more time than that, please let me know right away, and we will set up a payment plan. Failure to timely pay your forfeiture can result in suspension of your driver's license, even if it's not a driving-related offense, or referring the matter for debt collection. If you plead not guilty, I'll schedule your case for a pretrial conference with the city attorney, and at that time, which will be over the phone, you can discuss your case with him and see if your case can be resolved without a trial. If it cannot be resolved, I'll schedule the matter for trial. You do have the right to have an attorney represent you in your case, but you must hire that attorney on your own. The Public Defender's Office will not represent you. You also have the right to ask me tonight for a continuance of your case if you need to consult with an attorney or for some other reason. One of you is charged with operating while intoxicated, and you have the right to a jury trial in circuit court in Madison. However, you must post jury fees within 10 days of the date of your plea. Trials on all other matters will be heard by me, and you'll have the right to appeal any decision I make in your case. Those of you who are charged with a traffic offense should also bear in mind that in addition to having to pay a forfeiture, if you're found guilty, the Division of Motor Vehicles may impose demerit points against your license. If 12 or more points are assessed against your license in any 12-month period, your driving privileges will be suspended for a period of time. And if you hold a probationary license, those points could be doubled. Finally, if your address changes at any time while your case is pending, you must notify the court in writing within 5 days of such a change. And I'll call the first case, City versus Danforth. Mr. Danforth, do you still live at 123 Oakwood Court in Stoughton?
Yes.
You're charged with operating a motor vehicle while following another vehicle too closely. Do you understand what the charge is?
Yes.
You understand what it means?
Yes.
Does the city have an offer for the defendant this evening?
The city is amenable to reducing the forfeiture to $98.80.
But still plead to the original charge?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Danforth, do you understand what the city is offering to do tonight?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about that?
No.
How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
That means you're asking for a trial, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Just the same, I'm going to schedule this for a pretrial conference on January 15th. We'll give you written notice of that in a moment here as soon as we get it prepared. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, that pretrial conference will be over the phone. You don't have to travel up to Madison to Mr. Brodkey's office. If you get the matters resolved, you may not have to come back to court. On the other hand, if you don't get it resolved and you still want a trial, we'll send you notice of your trial date. And that probably won't be until at least February, right?
Maybe March.
Maybe even March. And I'll tell you right now, and this applies to anybody else that's going to ask for a trial, it would be your responsibility to bring to court any witnesses you may have. The city's not under any obligation to find witnesses for you. I certainly won't do that either. So if you have witnesses to the case that you want to testify, it's your responsibility to get them here. In addition, testimony is under oath, which means that people will swear to tell the truth, and if they lie under oath, you could be looking at a 10-year felony. So you might want to tell that to any potential witnesses you call as well. Okay?
Okay.
And Mr. Danforth, if you decide to get an attorney to represent you in this case, that's perfectly fine. It's also fine if you don't want to get one. But if you do, have your attorney contact Mr. Brodkey as soon as possible. Because Mr. Brodkey will, in that event, Mr. Brodkey would only be able to discuss your case with your attorney. He wouldn't be able to discuss it with you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go. City versus Diane Mick. Ms. Mick, do you still live on Coolidge Road in Stoughton?
I do.
And you're charged with 2 citations, operating a motor vehicle while under the influence and operating a motor vehicle with a prohibited blood alcohol concentration of greater than 0.15. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what the charges mean?
I think so.
Okay, I'll go through it with you so that I know you know. Operating while intoxicated means that you are operating a motor vehicle on a public highway while under the influence of an intoxicant. That could be alcohol or some other substance. If it's a prescription medication, that isn't necessarily a defense for operating while intoxicated. Operating while intoxicated means that your ability to safely control the motor vehicle was impaired by whatever substance was in your blood. The second charge is operating with a prohibited blood alcohol concentration. That means that at the time of the offense, you are operating with a blood alcohol concentration of greater than 0.15 it's
0.8.
well, the legal limit, so-called legal limit, is 0.8, and that
0.8.
number refers to 100 milligrams of alcohol per 1 liter of breath, if I remember correctly. In any event, the operative term here is that it's prohibited by law for a person in the state of Wisconsin as a first offense to operate a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.8 or greater.
Yes.
You're cited for operating at 0.15 or greater, which is at least almost twice the legal limit. Do you understand all of that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, having said all of that, I also need to put on the record that Mr. Brodke has brought it to my attention, and I think he brought it to yours as well, that he has an ethical conflict with your case, meaning that neither he nor his law firm, anybody else in his law firm, will be able to prosecute this case. In fact, as a matter for the record, he's not appearing on this case at all. As such, I'm not going to ask you for a plea tonight, and if you offered one, I wouldn't accept it. So what we're going to have to do is find another prosecutor to represent the city of Stoughton in this case. Once we've determined who that's going to be, we'll send notice to you as to when you need to come back. It's very important that you do show up in court on whatever date we give you, because if you don't show up, I have no choice but to assume that you don't wish to contest the matter. You'll be found guilty, and I'll impose the appropriate penalties. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about anything I've said?
Yes.
Sure.
When will that, approximately, when will that be?
January 15th is the next adult court date.
Okay. It'll probably be January 15th at 5, but pay attention to whatever written notice we send you in the mail. If we have more difficulty getting an attorney to take the case for the city, it may get bumped out another month after that.
Certainly. Will that affect my ability to try to get an operational license since mine has been suspended?
That's something you're going to have to take up with DMV. I'm going to give you a sheet here that has some information on that. But I
Yes,
don't
I
want to
have
work
this one
through all the
already.
possibilities with you here tonight because I don't know the facts of your case.
Okay.
So I don't want to give you,
Well, the thing is I'm new to the area and I'm single, and so
sure.
to, not be able to drive and not be able to just settle this is kind of unnerving.
Well, I get it, and unfortunately, it can't be settled tonight.
Okay.
That simply cannot happen.
Yeah.
The only suggestion I can give you is to go over that sheet that the bailiff just handed you and contact DMV tomorrow morning and explain the situation. DMV probably will need to know that we're not going to be calling this case any sooner than January 15th.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. All right. So
I
you don't.
I hope you have a ride out of here.
No, I'm walking.
Okay.
I
okay.
walked here, I'll walk home.
Okay,
so,
well, it's cold and a little slippery, so be
yeah,
careful.
Well, it's the way it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. City versus Robert Kuhn.
Citations this
Oh.
year as well.
He did just now.
No, previously. I
Oh.
don't think it's been December 1st.
Okay. Give me just a second, sir. Whoops. Mr. Kuhn, do you still live on Blackhawk Drive in Edgerton?
Correct.
Okay. You have 2 citations tonight, hit and run of an unattended vehicle. Do you understand what the charge is and what it means?
Could you explain it?
Sure. It means that while you were operating a motor vehicle on a public highway in the city of Stoughton, you hit somebody else's property. Could be a parked car, could be a truck, could be anything that belonged to somebody else. And you drove away without attempting to make contact with the owner of that property. Do you understand?
Yep.
You're also charged with inattentive driving. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, I do.
Pretty much what it sounds like. It
Yep.
means you weren't paying enough attention while you were driving on a public highway in the city of Stoughton. Our records indicate that about 2 weeks ago, you paid the bond amounts on the 2 citations. Does that mean that you're intending to plead guilty or no contest to these charges, or how do you wish to proceed?
Guilty for the inattentive driving and not guilty for the hit and run.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Mr. Brodkey, does the city wish to make an offer to the defendant in light of what he's just told the court?
Yeah, Your Honor, the city can reduce the hit and run citation to $124, but would but with the defendant pleading no contest to the citation or guilty.
Okay. Do you understand what the city's offering to do tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Just so it's clear, for the inattentive driving citation, if you were convicted, in all likelihood, I would impose a forfeiture and costs totaling $111.40. Mr. Brodkey is willing to recommend the minimum penalty, which is $98.80. However, on the hit and run, in all likelihood, I would impose a forfeiture and costs of $187. It's also important to know that the hit and run is a 6-point ticket and the inattentive driving is a 4-point ticket. So you'd have 10 points against your, well, maybe more. I don't know what your driving record looks like because I haven't looked yet. So you understand all of that?
I think so, yes.
Well, do you have any questions?
My main concern was the hit and run ticket, and that's why I want
Okay.
plead.
But you still want a trial on the inattentive driving citation?
I'm pleading guilty to inattentive driving.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
Got it wrong.
Not guilty to the hit and run.
Okay. Does that change the city's position in any way?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. What I'm going to do then is I will find you guilty of inattentive driving. Excuse me, I should take a look at the, well, I can't take a look at the facts. Yeah.
Your Honor, maybe it makes sense because the 2 citations have some logical overlap, at least the
It's the
elements.
same set of facts.
Yeah, so why don't we, if it's okay with you, could we set this for a pretrial
Sure.
and a trial, and we'll deal with that later on?
All right, yeah, that's better. What I'm going to do, sir, is I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on both citations for you. And I think I understand your position as of now. But what that will do is that'll give you a chance to talk to Mr. Brodkey over the phone and see if you can work out something that both of you can agree on. And if not, that's fine. I can set a trial date. But it'll be on January 15th. It'll be over the phone. And I'll give you a written notice and Mr. Brodkey's phone number in a minute. If you do get it resolved, you probably don't have to come back to court. If it turns out that you still want to have a trial, that's fine. As I told somebody else a little while ago, it probably won't be till March or till February, possibly not till March. And again, if you do decide you want a trial, you've got to get your own witnesses and bring them here. You'll have the right to get an attorney, but if you don't, then you'll be acting as your own attorney. And I'll cut you some slack on how a trial is conducted if you're not a lawyer. But, you know, you still have to follow the same rules that a lawyer would have to follow if a lawyer were representing you at trial. You understand?
Understood.
Okay, any questions?
No.
Okay, then,
Okay, thank you.
okay, you're free to go and we'll see what happens. City versus Tobias Schultz. Mr. Schultz, Your first name is Tobias.
Correct.
Last name Schultz.
Yep.
And do you still live on East Main Street in Stoughton?
It switched to 1345
Okay.
North Greenway Road.
Greenaway?
Yep.
One word,
Is that one word or two?
One word.
Yeah.
drive,
Road.
road.
Is that in Madison?
Marshall,
Marshall, okay.
Zip.
Got a zip code?
53559.
Okay, thank you. Sir, you are charged with violating the absolute sobriety law, which means that there's a condition on your driver's license that requires that you not consume any alcohol whatsoever. I haven't looked at the police reports, so I don't know why you were not allowed to have any intoxicant in your system while you were operating a motor vehicle, but that's what you're accused of doing. And that was in the city of Stoughton on or near Apollo Circle. So do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes.
All right, does the city have an offer for the defendant?
Can I just have a brief
Yeah, sure.
conference with them? Your Honor, the city does not have an offer
Okay.
at this point.
Then, Mr. Schultz, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Okay, do you understand by pleading no contest, I must find you guilty?
Yes.
And in the event that I do convict you, in all likelihood, I'm going to impose by way of forfeiture, the amount that's on your ticket, which is $313.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to review the police reports for a factual basis. Mr. Brodkey, do you know, and I haven't read through everything because it's a very long report, do you know if any other jurisdiction is considering filing charges in this matter?
I do not, Your Honor.
Do you have any? No?
There's none.
No referral to the DA's office? And they've decided not to charge? trying to find the defendant's driving record. This is a very long report, 125 pages to be specific. Mr. Brodkey, have you had a chance to look for his driving record?
Your Honor, I'm clicking through like you.
Okay. Yeah, it's just,
Oh, Your Honor, 124 and 125.
oh, here we go. I'm trying to find the restriction that says that he's not to consume any alcohol, and I don't see anything.
Your Honor, I believe that the defendant was born in 2004. So it might be an age restriction.
Oh. That's the easy explanation. Okay. Mr. Schultz, your actions contributed to the death of 2 people. I obviously haven't had time to read all of these reports, but I assume that somebody in the district attorney's office has. Now, I suppose what you ought to bear in mind is the fact that they haven't charged you with 2 counts of homicide by operation of a motor vehicle while under the influence of an intoxicant. They could resurrect those charges. There's no statute of limitations on this. If new evidence comes to light, if they review the facts again and decide, you know, we are going to charge him with some criminal charges, that could still happen and it won't affect anything that happens here tonight. How did you plead to this case?
No contest.
No contest. I'll accept your plea, I'll find you guilty, and I'll impose the recommended forfeiture of $313 inclusive of costs. I'll give you 30 days to pay that unless you need more time. Do you need more time?
No.
All right. You can pay on the way out of the courthouse if you want to.
Okay.
Okay. Hang on, we'll give you a copy of the judgment. City versus Benjamin Meyer. Mr. Meyer, is your last name spelled M-A-I-E-R?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And do you still live on East Main Street in Cambridge?
Yes.
You're charged with failure to stop at a stop sign. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
I do.
And how do you, well, does the city have an offer for the defendant? Oh, right. Thank you. Mr. Meyer, under a fairly recent change in the Wisconsin statutes, if you are convicted of this offense, you have to go through a, for want of a better term, a driver improvement class, and you must do so within 6 months of your conviction if you're convicted of this offense. Otherwise, your driver's license will be suspended until you do that, until you do go through that class. So, does the city have an offer for the defendant?
Not at the moment, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Meyer, having been told what you just were, do you want to plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? If you plead not guilty, I'll schedule the matter for a pre-trial phone conference with Mr. Brodkey, and you can see if you can work out some kind of an agreement. If you want to plead guilty or no contest, I will find you guilty and I'll impose a forfeiture, and then you'll have to take that class within 6 months. Otherwise, your driver's license gets suspended. Do you understand all of that?
I do.
And how do you wish to proceed?
I plead no contest.
Okay? I find a factual basis for your plea. I will find you guilty. I'll impose a forfeiture and costs totaling $98.80. Do we give him this?
Yes.
Okay. We'll give you information on how you take that class that I referred to.
All right.
Do you need more than 30 days to pay the ticket?
No.
Okay. That yellow sheet has information on how you go about paying for your citation.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. City versus Hannah Hansen. Ms. Hansen, your last name is spelled Hanson?
Yes.
And you still live on Woodland Road in McFarland?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Hanson, you're charged with speeding on a public highway by 16 to 19 miles per hour over the posted limit, specifically going 52 miles per hour in a 35 zone. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes.
Does the city have an offer for the defendant?
Your Honor, the city's going to amend it to 14 over. That still is a 4-point penalty, and with a forfeiture of $98.80.
Okay. Ms. Hanson, do you understand what the city's offering?
Yes.
How do you wish to proceed?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Do you want to plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Fine.
If you plead not guilty, I'll schedule the matter for a pretrial conference over the phone with Mr. Broadkey, and you can discuss the case with him. You might get a better offer than you're getting tonight. You might not. I don't know. If you plead guilty or no contest, I'll find you guilty, and I'll accept the city's amendment. And in all likelihood, I would impose a forfeiture of $98.80. Do you understand all that?
Yeah.
How do you wish to proceed?
No contest.
Okay. I do find a factual basis for your plea, and I will find you guilty. Is there anything you want to tell me about this before I impose sentence?
No.
Okay. So 2 things for you. First of all, going 52 miles an hour on a city street it's not only against the law, it's dangerous. Okay? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Especially this time of year, when it's dark for more of the day than it isn't, and when the road conditions can be bad. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, in addition to the $98.80 forfeiture, the Division of Motor Vehicles, or Department of Motor Vehicles is going to, Division of Motor Vehicles is going to impose 4 demerit points against your license. And you still have a probationary license, right?
I think so.
Yeah, looks like you do. I just checked. Yeah, it was issued on September 30th. It expires July 21st, which means that between now and July 21st, if you get another ticket, the demerit points on that ticket will be double. So if you get, say, another speeding ticket just like this one, between now and July, and you're convicted, you're going to have 12 points against your license. Your license will be suspended. You'll have to pay a reinstatement fee. If you drive while you're suspended, you'll get new charges. In all likelihood, you'll get suspended for an even longer period of time. And as your mom probably is very concerned, the insurance rates for you driving will go up significantly. So it's 4 points and $98.80 tonight, but bear in mind, any violations in the future could bring some pretty serious consequences. In fact, the insurance rates are going to go up because of this conviction. I can tell you that for sure. Okay. I'll give you 30 days to pay this. Do you need more time than that?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll give you a copy of the judgment. It has information on how you can pay that forfeiture, and you've got 30 days from tonight to pay that. So be sure that you do, because otherwise some bad things can happen.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so with respect to any cases that are on the 5 o'clock docket that I have not yet called, I'll find the defendants guilty by default, impose judgment, and order forfeitures in the amount totaling the figure that's in the deposit box on the citations, unless the city has any other ideas.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
I mentioned there are two that are retail theft from Walmart.
Oh,
They did not, they did not have the correct form included. They didn't officially request it, so I'll wait and see if,
okay.
now that they've been found guilty, that there may be restitution.
Right. Did you get that, Mr. Brodkey?
I got a message from Ms. Geisma about Walmart, but I thought we might discuss it tonight.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Unless there's anything else for the 5 o'clock, then we'll go to the 6 o'clock. We've only got one case,
Howard.
about which we are all very happy.
And
Tara Howard, City versus Tara Howard, a retail theft.
yes, Your Honor. And I believe that the parties come to a settlement. I'm going to submit a letter. I have to run by opposing counsel.
That's fine. That's fine.
And I don't think that they're coming down at 6.
Yeah, that's
They weren't.
what I understood. That's why I called it early.
Yeah.
Okay, with that then, we're adjourned.